terms of actions, Cakes is intending to leave and is intending to go to the Kobold camp. What is everyone else doing?
I said I would accompany, and I shall do so.
Okay, good to
I
have you,
need to
Braid.
go speak to the reef.
Right, you go speak with the Reef. Gar, what are you doing?
I have an interest to see what Halpert's up to.
Okay, so half and half. Sure.
They're crisscrossing the overlay.
Yeah.
Both tops are going with different bottoms, which sounds weird when you say it out of context.
Yeah.
Somebody animate that.
Mm-hmm. So let's start with Halpert and Gar. You go to talk to the Reef. And he's in the office. It's like...
The Reef's two favorite people.
Runt, Master Gar, what can I do for you?
Reef, I got some news for you. Some information on that little matter we were looking into.
What is it?
Seems that Jimmy's been passing some supplies off to some bandits there.
You recommend that we arrest him?
I don't know. I don't know if he's working alone.
Well, you should probably set up a sting operation.
You could say like...
A sting operation is an operation wherein you plant people to keep an eye out, and then when you see the thing going down, that's when you launch in to arrest him. When you have proof that something is actually happening.
Oh, that would mean that Halpert would be the best one to be the lookout.
Right, but you
I
want some
knew that
city
was
officials to actually be there as well.
Would you want Halpert? Want some guards to look over your shoulder in case something goes down?
Yeah, you got a couple. Not enough that they're gonna stand out. We don't want to spook anybody.
How do you want to do this? When do you want to do this?
Soon as possible. I mean, got no idea when they're coming back though. That's the problem.
So,
That's why it's a sting operation. You stay undercover. You have people dress up in their normal attire, farmers, whatever they're not doing when they're typically not doing stuff, right? And you have them just hanging around, doing whatever they would normally do. Halpert here has already seen where they were doing trade-offs and whatnot. Have them in the area, maybe not so close that they're suspicious, but far enough away that they can still see them. And then when Halpert spots something is going down, as he's already spotted it before, he makes a signal of some sort. Everybody gets called in. You bust them.
Alternatively, you could send like all of your guys through the tunnel they were using to grab the supplies and just flood them out. I'll stay here and watch what happens.
it wasn't a tunnel. What it was, think about this, the back wall of the stable. They built a door.
Oh, okay. Got
And they had in the alley, they had apparently somebody loading the carts, and then they drove into the night.
I don't know where I got the idea it was a tunnel, but it's stuck in my damn
one
head.
guy. He walks through a door. No one's there. Done.
Well, yeah, the barrels kept dropping straight down, so like, of course, my thought was tunnel.
Because it was a tarp, and as they did remove stuff from under the tarp sort of like, changed shape.
Okay.
I guess it's my bad. I didn't describe it accurately.
That was my bad too. Anyways, yeah, let's set up this. What do you call it? A stang operation?
Yep. It's a staying operation.
Let's go have a stang operation.
My guards are not very good at
Stanking?
but pretending to be something that they're
Well, what are they when they're not guards?
their husbands, their spouses, and their
That's
it's their
it.
job.
Have them be
They're
that
men-
when they're not guards.
They're men that you could use a day off of work and a drink in the pub away from the wife?
I guess I could cycle them, but people know the guards. I mean, it'd be difficult not to be spotted.
Well, have them dress
Do
up
the
as
guards-
people that they're not.
Do the guards not drink ever?
Of course. I mean, you've seen them in the gateway. Some of them do come in the gateway, but I mean, it's like, it's okay. It's like a off-duty cop takes off his clothes and goes to get a drink at the local bar. People know he's still a cop, right? They like, this is not NYPD Blue or anything like that.
Right, but if
Especially-
these people need their time to trade off, right, which means that either A, they're just going to stop doing it altogether because there's an off-duty cop there all the time, or B, they're going to do it and risk it because they need to do whatever they're doing. So either we stop it just by having an off-duty cop drinking, which is great for the morale of the guards, or B, we're going to catch them. Long term, there's no harm in pursuing this task.
He
And
can
he's the brains of the operation.
he can say essentially cycle guards through it, because you have no idea what's going to happen next.
Right, which is
That's
why
probably
Which is
That's
why
the
we
best.
have a on-duty guard pretending to be off-duty and just drinking and having a good time. Which, as I said, is going to do wonders for the morale of the guards in town.
Okay,
Oh, hey, I got the reward shift this week.
sure.
Hey, speaking of which, if there's any kind of a reward for this situation, don't tell Red, okay?
Why wouldn't I tell the rest of the headhunters about this?
It's just a little thing we got going on, camaraderie among the troops.
Apparently, it's not his turn. He's taken his turn already. It's one of our turns.
I leave that entirely up to you.
Which one
But
of
the
us?
stand,
I'm sorry, you said you. Which one of us?
I meant the you in the plural.
You plural.
Yes.
Oh, wouldn't that be we? Not the royal we?
No, I leaving it
He does.
to you.
He does not entrust it to we.
Well, no, when we say it, it's us.
My cigar.
Let's just say we don't have to tell
So
Red.
much, but apparently, some simple concepts are beyond your grasp. You're overthinking this too much.
You say so.
I did,
You do.
and that's the end of that. So yes, I will cycle a guard through the gatehouse and see what they can see, and hopefully that would help you in some way.
All right, great. We'll take it from here.
And it's like, Halpert, can you stay for a moment here, please,
Of course.
Master Guard?
Yeah, I can stay for a minute.
No. I'll talk to Halpert in a moment. In
Oh,
private.
in a moment? What are we going to do then?
In private.
Oh, okay. I see. I know when I'm not wanted.
Are we
Like now.
sure?
And he waits for you to.
Oh,
Leave.
okay, I guess I'll be going then.
Yes.
All right. Well, I guess I'll just be... I imagine somewhere in here a door slammed in my face.
Yeah. I say, Halpert,
Brave.
the reason why I contacted you was, and I explained this earlier. Apparently, Master Guard didn't understand this, but it's perfectly fine. He is unique, or ways of one, I suppose. He said, if my men could have caught these people, they would have. Whoever is doing this does have an eye on us, I suspect. And so that's why I went to you, someone who would know the principles and could act independently. Now, I could arrange for some guards to be on the lookout for you, so you could call them up for backup. That I can do that. But the thing is, I do not want to, spook the prey, as it were.
Hey, Reeve, big fella, my friend. That's all I'm asking. I'm a little guy. I'm a tiny little guy. These are big ass bandits, okay? And there's just one of me. And again, let me stress this: I'm a little guy, okay? So like a couple of guys I can call on so that I don't get squished. That's all I'm asking for.
Okay, that we can do, but you still have to be the eyes and ears of this thing. I think.
I got you, Reeve. I got you. But I tell you, if you're putting me in a place where it's a decision between a knife in my back or a night in those cells, lock me up.
Understandable. I wouldn't ask you to do something you're unable to do. And nothing else, Halbert, you're a survivor.
Got that right, Reeve.
Have a nice day.
I'm
So
gonna
basically
get
what
up
he's gonna
and
do, he's gonna cycle a couple of guards. He's gonna make sure that there's always like these 2 guards in and around the guardhouse, the gatehouse, and you can spot them. You know who they are, right? So they kind of give you a nod or something like that. But so if you shout for help, they'll come running.
excellent.
But that's about it, right?
Preferably, if anybody shouted for help, the guards would come running.
But they particularly are on the lookout for Halbert giving them some kind of signal.
You can retract yourself. You're fine. You're 450 pounds. I'm like 6.
Assuming that we use pounds, it's not like some sort of weird metric like stones.
So in the meantime, since you just explore these areas already, the way is relatively clear to to this area. So a couple of days, Kix and reach the Great Tree / the Old Mine or the Great Old Mine.
Yep.
But this time around, you see that the tents are mostly gone. So they basically moved back into their warren, which is under the tree. But there are guards outside, like they're super. You see, two very actually, Braith, you see in the distance 2 kobolds standing guard, and their armor and stuff like that, most like junk they're wearing, but they have their shields like just like a plank of wood, right? A couple of tied in plank of woods with their spears, which are just sharpened sticks, but they are, sending their almost like statues, like they show a certain level of discipline, right?
Real quick, is that normal? I guess it would be maybe a nature check or an insight or something, like to see if that's like normal behavior.
That would be nature.
Nature.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it a roll. I have a 9. I don't think I know.
Again, kobolds just get piled on into all these other creatures that are out there, goblins and the like, mostly pests. So you hear more stories. You haven't actually dealt with kobolds directly. You have an idea, right?
Fair enough. Okay.
And as we're approaching, I'm going to make myself obvious and known and wave to them as I approach. Hello.
They open their eyes like. One of them looks at you, like. Yip, 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 yip. He's like,
it's Cakes again.
He's like, oh, Great Dragon is here. Like, go fetch the chief. Like, he goes. One of them goes in, and out comes a retinue. Right, here comes the great chief, Greatscale, with like 5 or 6 kobolds, and they're like almost like a triangular formation, like they're on the flanks, right? And then you have one of them. Has like the clay tablet.
Yeah.
And he sort of goes, Great Dragon, you honor us with us presence. What can we do for you?
It's wonderful to see you again, too. I came back to discuss about the mine. I'm sure by now you've seen that we cleared it out. I had to leave immediately afterwards to attend to a little bit of business, but I'm here now to talk again.
No nasty spiders this time around. Good. Yes.
That's right. So now we just merely need to talk about working the mine. As I mentioned before, there are people in town who want to do so.
Okay.
I'm just looking for assurance that they'll be free to do so without being harassed by anyone here. We have no interest in moving you from your lands, just merely working the mine.
Sure. Just, I mean, as long as they don't make too much noise, I suppose we don't have to bother them.
Well, I suppose it is a mine, but you've lived around here before. I'm sure you're familiar with that sort of noise.
Yeah, we dumped some iron, dug some of the scraps there and use it for pots and pans and the like. But it's kind of hard. We don't have a what's the word? Kiln, sir. The word is kiln. Yeah, that thing that they did. Big ones the humans have. We don't have that now, so we can't work the iron too much. But we can make like arrowheads and stuff like that. Yeah, right. We need to make more arrowheads.
Yes, well, you'll be happy to know that Narwhal has one of the greatest smiths that I know, Thea. And as soon as she has the iron, I'm sure she'd more than happily make you different pots, pans, or other tools that you may need.
Really?
Well, Well, not for free, but she will make them, and I can assure that they'd be of the highest quality.
So what
Speak
are
with
we?
her and arrange such trade if you need to.
All right. Yeah. But how do we? I mean, we don't. I mean, we don't have a lot of what's the thing that coins. Yes, the coin. We don't. We sometimes. We try to avoid trouble. And he sort of, Sir Great Dragon, would you be so kind as to walk with me?
Of course. And
And-
I'll
and
look
try-
over to Beard and go, come on.
And he tries to do the thing where they do in the West Wind, the walk and talk, like, but he's trying to
Yeah.
do it. But he's short, and he's a tiny little runt, and you're like, yes, well, I don't like to say this, but we of the Great Soothscale tribe, we were from the south, see, where the nasty goblins and the brutish orcs kept us in bondage, and had no respect for the great dragon. And so we had to leave, but now we're here. We're few in number, and how can I say this? We'd like to have some kind of arrangement to guarantee our safety. We're good workers. My people would work hard. If the humans, they say the humans can be good, I guess. And when he wants to turn around, it's like, it wants to, and Brave, all you hear is like, you're yipping and yapping, and then some other language, kind of a hiss or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not the way Kix talks. Kix talks like a deep voice, baritone voice, right? Almost supernatural voice when he talks in Draconic. He doesn't use the yips and yaps. But he seems to understand them. Even though they're
it's like two slightly different dialects that are completely compatible.
They're compatible. Right?
They're all speaking Irish.
Yeah.
So real quick, is Kix actually speaking Common? So I'm getting his side of the thing.
No. He's speaking Draconic.
Okay, just checking. Okay, so I'm listening to this and I have no idea what the heck you're doing.
And the rest of the retinue is like still information, and you're there, and they're there, and they look at each other, and they look at you, and they're like,
yeah.
And the only ones who left were the ones the chief who has like rags, like leather, essentially looks like some kind of mantle, but it's really made out of just rags and leather bits, and the other one who has the clay tablet like pointings,
I look at the one with the clay tablet. I go to him and I say, "Do you speak Common?"
And both of them turn like, answer them. Like,
I'll take that as a no.
oh yes. I speak these common of tongues of humans. Yes.
Oh,
So what can I do for you, sir?
Try tell. What's your name?
Lorelta.
What I would ask, can you help me, please? What are they talking about?
No, I can't. No, I sorry, I don't have the order from the great.
Right,
Chief.
and instead, like when he starts saying that, I'll kind of like turn over to you and go. I think they want protection, and I think we can give it to them.
Protection from what?
From the orcs, from the south. They came from there, fled from there.
I
think we
kind
do,
of,
in fact, have common cause.
I kind of give you the darted eyes a little. My eyes kind of like dart a little bit to you, like almost like a steely gaze. You said fled there.
Yes, fled from there.
Interesting.
My suspicion is that they were held in bondage.
Hmm.
And now they want our guarantee.
This is true. This is very true. We heard that humans don't own others of their kind.
Not these ones, that's for sure. And I wouldn't allow them.
So that's good. We don't want to be owned by anyone. We are, and the chief looks at him like, what are you doing? He's like,
right. And I'll turn to Sutsuko and go, my apologies. I was just explaining the situation.
oh, it's perfectly understandable, Great Dragon. Yes.
But as I was saying in the other language, I think we do have common cause. Narwhal and Greyhawk have no love for the orcs that are to the south. And I think if I explained that to them, they'll be more than willing to listen to you and your plea. I could talk to them directly. I'm sure that they would extend their net of safety to you as well. And even if not, then I can give you my personal declaration of safety. That if ever you are in need, I will come to your aid.
Making it made a persuasion check with advantage.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that advantage. 16, advantage game and clutch.
And you see that, and you see the assistant and Suskill start talking to you in low voices, and you kind of hear like, "Can we do this?" Yes. Yes. Perhaps we can send a delegation, myself and my followers, go with you, Great Dragon, to meet the leader of the humans and exchange formal greetings and the likes.
I think that would be a great idea. I'll definitely, it'll definitely make them feel at ease knowing that I'm with you.
Very well, yes. And he sort of, it's like, he takes like, and he's already like, oh, and they go and they get like 8 to 10 kobolds to stand in line. You recognize the formation, right? It's just a marching formation, right?
Yeah, they're just like getting in a line or double line.
Double liners, and they have the shields and their spears. And it's like, again, their equipment is whatever they can scavenge. And like some of them really have like a pot or a pan for a helmet or whatever. But they're like, it's like, and you see the chief sort of goes through the line like, yes, it's very important. No, yes, you. It's like they're doing the inspection, everything like that. It looks like a mockery from your point of view, a mockery of a real army. But they appear to be sincere, right? They appear to be like they're doing this like kids playing at being soldiers, but trying very hard to be authentic.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna look at Bray and go, they're so adorable.
Yeah, and
that I whisper. That is one way of putting it.
And so he sends in, it's like, Great Dragons, we are ready.
Then we march together.
And they start marching behind Kicks back to town. This procession is like, and the rest go back, and they go back to the tree. And now do a perception check.
Okay.
No, Bray, not Kicks.
Yeah, right. Go ahead.
Yeah, I will do that. 16.
Nice.
You realize that as they leave, you realize that what it first looked like these two guys who were just standing there, in fact, in and around the tree, there's actually well-made positions. Like they've used the branch, not the branches, but the big roots that come out of the tree, stuff like that. Like they're hiding spaces. So if anybody actually tries to go into the tree, tries to charge, yeah, they could get hurt or even killed. All right. Like this is what at first looked like just two guys standing in the middle of the entrance, like just standing there. Obviously, hides in fact that are more like, yeah, these guys are prepared to go to defend their tree, right? They're hiding spaces, they're hidey holes. You could easily have a dozen or more bolts or arrows come your way if you ever try to just waltz in. Right? These kobolds, they look, superficially very comical, again, like kids playing at war. But they know a thing or two about defending themselves.
Yeah, they're dangerous and effective guerrilla fighters. They're just maybe not ready for a line battle.
I was actually about to say that they actually know how to fight defensively. That's interesting.
And they're marching, and they bring supplies. Like the soldiers have the little but like knapsack, something like that. It's like, and they're keeping going, and you see like they have like even like a sword. You go like, keep like it's singing, and you hear like it's like translated as march, but it gets tiresome about 15-20 minutes afterwards. It's just saying the same thing over and over again, right?
Their voices all get hoarse and they just give up.
Yeah. And they just march up, and it takes you a day to come in and a day to come back.
Yeah.
So they come in, and the guards notice this from far. It's like, and they ready bows and arrows and crossbows. Like, what the? And even a couple of guards come out, like the sergeant of the guard goes like, Master Kicks.
Hello.
Even bother asking what in the name of the nine hells is going on here?
Well, I brought a few friends, but more importantly, it is a diplomatic delegation.
Diplomatic delegation.
I
Would
would,
you be so kind as to wait out here? And he gives
of course,
Blake
go
the
tell the
look like he took Blake the look like, I'm just gonna.
I think he's broken.
Yeah, and he goes back and he comes a couple of guards, like 5 or 6 guards. They're and wearing mail, and they have the swords and shields and all that. But they're not ready for. They could be ready for combat, in a flash, but they're not aggressive. And the Reeve comes in and is like, right, Master Kicks. And he's trying to contain his laughter because he finds the whole thing, risible, right?
I'm trying to give him like a very subtle symbol, like no, don't.
Master Kicks said that you were the diplomatic mission. Would you care to elaborate?
That's right. I have with me here Sootscale, and he would like to discuss with you coming under Narwhal's protection against the orcs to the south.
Really?
They promise that they are honest and hard workers and are more than willing to do what they need to in order to gain your protection.
See. Fetch Mistress Tydia at once, sir. They bring her, and she comes in with 5 or 6 dwarves, which at first they just look like they're workers, but they have hammers and knives and other implements. It's like, what the bloody hell is going on out here?
This is slowly turning into The Hobbit.
Right,
Yeah.
we're about to have like an 8-hour summit here with translators.
It seems, actually, she asked you, and you already told them in your report that they were
That I did, yeah.
Cool. So it's like, yes, these are the kobolds that were near the Great Tree, correct?
That's right.
And they wish to want to come into the protection of Narwhal.
That's correct.
What do they have to offer us in return?
Well, so far they've said that they are willing to be hard workers and do what they must to be a part of society.
Saying, well, kobolds are good diggers. And she goes like, oh no. I'm not just Reef. And the other ones, some of the dwarves look upset, other looks like laughable. It's like, no, we're not gonna do this. And I was like, what the. So the reaction from the dwarves is, and even from the humans, is like someone from laughter all the way to like consternation, even anger. Like one of the dwarves is like, he's red beard, he has a full red beard and hair, and now his face is matching. His it's almost like he was about to come out of his ears. Like, I'm going off stand for this. It's like, what do you say? Now you're on the spot. What do you say?
Right. I'm going to look to Ellison, and I'm going to go. I believe that this kind of arrangement would be the best for everyone. We know the dangers that the Empire poses to the south, and I'm not sure if Narwhal alone could hold, especially if the front were to fall, or if scouts were to come, or if bandits were to attack. With these additional kobolds here, I've been to their home. They know how to defend their homes, and I've seen the work that they do. They've managed their farms, and they produce the moon radishes on the regular. They know what they're doing. They're intelligent. They are hardworking. I do believe that they are earnest in their willingness to cooperate. They don't want to be slaves to the Empire to the south any longer. They only want peace.
When you say that about slaves, ideas like no one should. He looks at the kobolds and like, when it says no one, is like she's doing. You can see in her mind, like, does she consider them to be someone enough to be included in the no one category, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide if I should jump in on this or not.
Oh, you totally could.
I know I could, but the problem is, should I? Or would I? All right, I would say to this. Lady, how do I say this?
Idea.
No, I know. I'm trying to say, how am I going to say this? Lady Tidea, the question of whether or not these kobolds, in your mind, you feel are of deserving of any protection, I would argue is somewhat immaterial. They have been, at the moment, been very gracious and helpful, and only wish to return the favor. And I feel that, at least in this regard, we should be willing to work with them, especially if they can help us against the Empire to the south.
Right.
Regardless of how we may view things, think of it as, in a sense, a way to give ourselves advantage for an effort that many probably do not believe in any further.
Okay. And she says that, and she sort of goes right for Soothgale, and she is short because she's a dwarf, but she's still and looks him right into the eye. And then when he does it, the kobolds sort of like kind of rush to defend, and you see the Soothgale is like he kind of leans back, but it's like I'm not gonna run. I'm not gonna like. And looks at him in the face and goes like, "Are you a good digger?" And he looks to his, to Lara is like, huh? But he's keeping his eyes on her, and the eyes there look like both scared, but also, like he knows that if he runs, he loses, right? That he has to stand it. It's like, and he says that yes, Digger, and he explains why Digger is like, and says to you, like Dragon, you can tell the lady that we are great diggers. Yes. You see the kobolds are ready to jump, right? And the dwarves are ready to jump and they try to, so this is very tension. It's like, he tells you that. He's like, he's really literally in his back foot, like he's about to just fall over. Because she's like nose to him. And like, what do you say?
And I will tell her that Soothgale says that they are the greatest diggers there are.
All right.
That's it.
This kobold did not run from me. He has, and he looks at him like waiting for him to piss his pants or something, but he didn't. Like, fine. We always need to expand the mind. We need to have people who are willing to take risk. If your people are willing to take these risks and earn their keep, then yes, we will have them. And you start hearing like back in the book, like and in Dwarvish, and then none of you speak Dwarvish.
No,
it's like,
I think,
but you know that the Shire Reeve kind of understands because like he starts rolling his eyes the moment they switch to Dwarvish. And it's like, and they're having this discussion and so, and the Shire Reeve turns around and in Dwarvish, but his is heavily accented because he's an elf, and they look at him like, really, you're gonna do that? And they start talking, and they sort of calm down. It's like, well, we can, if we want this mine to be up and running as soon as possible, we're going to need all hands. And not only the entire clan, Firebeard clan, can just appear at a moment's notice here. So the extra hands will be welcomed.
This is wonderful news.
They will be repaid, of course, in coin. It's only fair. And one of the dwarves is in common, kind of, in half common, half dwarves, like, fair your arse, you son of a. And he says something dwarvish, right? And he's like, well, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like,
I as that dwarf does that, I kind of give him the steely gaze.
And he looks back at you. It's like, I think you have a staring contest. So I think what you do with that staring contest, you kind of neutralize him because he's looking at you, he's looking at you. Like,
yes.
The conversation continues without the two of you because you have fixed him in the gaze, right?
Yeah.
It's like, yes, we accept. But I warn you, and he points at the Lauren. It's like, if this goes south, you know exactly what's going to happen, right? And he translates to us, and basically says, if we screw up, they're gonna kill us. And this guy is like, Sure, I mean, makes sense. Yeah.
I imagine Siskiy's just like, yeah, better deal than we had down south.
Yeah. Hey, at least we're getting paid this time. Maybe.
Yeah.
You
Probably
guys are getting
not.
paid?
And so, like, very well. We go then. We prepare for the arrival of the great clan, great tribe, Firebeard. Great dragon. And again, he does the thing. They turn around. Inspect. They do a 180, and they march out into the wilderness.
Kick surreptitiously wipes some sweat from his brow for a second.
Yeah.
Well, that went fantastically.
I during that part where she actually ran up to him, I had my hand behind my back, gripping my great axe. I bring my hand down as they leave.
And they have more conversations as like between this, and she just shouts in common, so everybody says, "Enough! I will not have anyone countenance someone else in bondage and slavery. That is not the dwarven way. Now they are different than us. That is true. But if they can carry their weight, we must respect that. That is Moradin's law. He who carries his weight must be respected in their labors." And they all kind of like, yeah, I guess, she has, and they're all humbled, right? You see that some of them are like 4 or 5 of them are probably her children and grandchildren, right? That they're the closest to her. Like there's some younger dwarves that even have get joined their beard. Like, well, mom's the wood, I guess.
And I'm just imagining dwarven puberty beard.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to imagine that because it's probably all over the place and really itchy.
Yeah, and so they march back, and it's like, Kix, this has to be my 277 years of my life, the weirdest day of all of them. I pray to Moradin and all the dwarven brethren, all the hammer brethren, that this does not go wrong. It'll be on you, my lad. Know that.
It will be, but I think if there's going to be success, it is because of your. It is because of your heart.
Also,
can't imagine one bigger than yours.
Do not make big jokes around dwarves. And she kind of smiles and walks away. So yeah, I think it's we're about 20 minutes out. So I think this is a good place to stop for tonight.
Yeah, and next time pick up with how the sting operation went for 2 days.
And role play and all that. So experience points you got earlier, but you do get a bonus. So I'm gonna check. You get
bonus.
You get a bonus for role playing. And because you actually did, went back to the Kobold and arranged this, which is a little something extra.
Yeah, something extra.
And also, we're gonna have everybody talk about their outros, including the characters. We need to talk about the characters again, and what we're talking about here. And all that. So yeah, who wants to start?
I guess I'll start. Hey everybody, I'm playing Kix the Shield, the Dragonborn Battle Master folk hero. He's cool and calculating. He's a hero who stands up against all challenges. Those under my command and responsibility come first, and I have an immense ego and delusions of grandeur.
They come first, but I'll take the sword.
Who's next?
All right, well, I'm Halpert Knackle. I've got a joke for every occasion, especially occasions where humor is inappropriate. Sarcasm and insults are my weapon of choice. I value friendship. Material goods come and go, but bonds of friendship last forever. I swindled and ruined a person who didn't deserve it. I seek to atone for my misdeeds, but might never be able to forgive myself. And I can't resist a pretty face.
Griffin?
Yeah, do yours again, Griffin.
Yeah, I'll do right again. Theta, tag in.
And Gar the Wizard. Turtle. There's nothing I like more than a good mystery. My ideal is self-improvement. I sold my soul for knowledge, and I hope to do great deeds and win it back. And unlocking an ancient mystery is worth the price of a civilization.
All right, and I guess this is where I do personality, ideal, bonds, and flaws, right?
Right.
All right. So, as you know, I am Braith, the cleric of Cord.
The Butcher.
Well, I'm getting to that later. My personality traits would be honest to a fault and very resolute in my beliefs. My ideals are to strive for truth and provide hope in a world that is very cruel and harsh. My bonds are my faith. They guide my conscience even when in doubt. And my flaws are I'm known as the butcher to many, but I wear that name regardless of how I feel about it. And I am somewhat prejudiced to my enemies.
And and I am Lessons Learned. I'm the GM for tonight and every night on Sundays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Atlantic, until time synchronizes again, which should be soon. And I was happy to run for these group of lovely people here, and I hope to see you next week. So thank you for coming, and we'll see you when we see you. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.